If you've ever been in a situation before that you take out your regular trout or steelhead gear through the summer and things aren't casting quite as you'd like, or maybe a fly line burns out on you faster than you think it should, it might be because you're not fishing the right type of line for the temperature of water that you're fishing. So one situation that we're presented with a lot here is that we fish from the winter all the way through the summer months, and that can be a huge, you're talking maybe 40°C swing between those lows and highs. Fly lines work much like summer and winter tires. They're made in varying hardnesses of plastics, and those hardnesses of plastics are meant to behave better in different temperature zones. So if you look at a sort of typical freshwater line, we'd call them, or a cold water line, those are really meant to perform in water temperatures usually sub 70 degrees Fahrenheit. But when you get those same lines into the middle of summer, what actually happens to them, just like tires, is they get really soft. So those plastics get really limp and soft, and that may not seem like such a big deal off the bat, but there's three main things that'll happen with that. One is reduced durability. So anytime that gets pulled through a bit of weeds, or even just gets pulled through the guides of the rod with the extra soft plastics, it's so mushy, it's going to start wearing down really, really quickly. So we see people burn lines out all the time because of this. The other thing that's going to happen is they tend to get sticky. So if that plastic gets soft, you can imagine it's going to get almost kind of tacky. And going through the guides, it's not going to go through as smoothly. So you don't tend to get the same kind of distance, the same kind of line speed when you're casting a cold water line in a really hot weather situation. And then lastly, you're going to notice that they start tangling. So of course, same idea, when you have all that line getting really soft and limp, as it's stripping into a pile at your feet, it's going to start winding around itself a lot more, and it's going to result in tangles for you. So a bunch of big headaches there. The inverse is also true. If you look at a tropical kind of fly line, which is made for temperatures sort of 80 degrees plus, really hot weather, then you bring those into cold weather and they get really stiff and they coil up and they also tangle. They can also become more brittle because they've gotten really hard and don't have a lot of give. So there's issues on both sides of the coin, which is why you just want to kind of make sure that you're fishing the appropriate gear for the conditions that you're in. Now, we don't live in tropical conditions, but sometimes those lines are actually justified in the middle of summer, or if you're fishing with a really hot boat tech, we will actually fish full-blown tropical lines. But if you're just sort of in the middle, where it's not blazing hot, but it's not trout temperatures either, there's some great warm water line options out there for you to take advantage of. So I have two different options here just to sort of demonstrate this. We have the SA Infinity lines. This is the Infinity trout taper. All of these lines are the exact same taper, but this is a cold water coating. In the middle here, we have the warm. So this is really made for your sort of average bass temperatures, call it 60 to 80 degrees, somewhere kind of in there. Really nice summertime line for around here. And then we also have the exact same taper again, the Infinity, but in the tropical one, so for the hottest of conditions. And then similarly, we have the same kind of thing with the Bass Bug and the Titan tapers. The Titan taper is a great sort of heavier, punchier streamer trout line that we fish a lot in the colder months, but then the Bass Bug line actually features the same taper with the warm water coating. So if you're used to your favorite line, you like a certain taper, you don't want to mix it up too much, you actually have options in some of these brands to get that same familiar kind of feel, but in that warmer water coating to help you fish better and make sure your gear lasts as long as possible. If you'd like some help figuring out which line to get this summer to take full advantage of the season, get in touch. We'll be happy to help you out. We'll see you on the water.